Hey everybody, it's Michael. I am Hollywood today, and I hope you're Hollywood, at least in your head, everybody. We have been talking for some time now about a technique we call in the business direct to camera. And it's important because, especially even in this class, that Zoom is stealing or creating a thumbnail based on how we all look at the beginning of the call. And that thumbnail is showing up over and over and over again in Dropbox, right? Or in the membership site. And so what we want to do when we start is have a good smile on our face, because people are looking at this menu of faces. And I was looking at the gallery the other day, and man, we're moping around. We need to look like we're glad to be here. We need to look like, we enjoy learning. And we need to look like this is really a treat, which it is. It's a treat for me every week. And so I want you to get this Hollywood mentality about yourself. And it's hard because a couple of guys got on today and said, boy, we're having a hell of a day at the office today and we've got a problem. I want you to get past that, because when it's time to go on stage to do your presentation, you've got to be with the audience. They don't want to hear about your headache or your migraine or your fender bender or the fact that your kid's not talking to you again. So from now on, when we start this program, right, when I get ready to click record, I'm going to say, okay, here we go. We're live. And we're going to put a little smile on our face because the camera's going to catch that screenshot. And this is just a good habit to get into anyway, because we know that whenever we begin our presentations, we want to smile. I want to move into a couple of other related topics. I had the pleasure of watching an Eddie Van Halen interview the other day on the treadmill. And Eddie Van Halen's an interesting cat. I used to be in the music business. I played bass guitar, and it turns out Eddie Van Halen's first electrical instrument was the bass guitar. I didn't know that. Eddie Van Halen tells a really remarkable story about how the greatest guitarist in the world never learned how to read music. But the story's even crazier than that. Eddie Van Halen created a different way to play on the guitar. You know, he plays with two hands. You've seen him do that. They had no way of scoring his music. There was no way of writing guitar music that used this tapping technique that he does with his right hand. They had to create one called tablature. And the way Eddie tells the story, he can't read that kind of music either. And he made them create it, which I started laughing. I'm on the treadmill and I'm laughing by myself laughing. I'm sure people think I'm loony. But I thought to myself, that's the greatest guitar player in the world. I came home that night. We watched on television the new Ted Williams special. It's a PBS thing. Ted Williams, ladies and gentlemen, was the greatest hitter in the history of baseball. He was the last baseball player to hit 400. And Ted was an interesting cat, too, because he had a very good relationship with a lot of people on the field, but he had a terrible relationship with the media, and the fans kind of rode him a lot, too, because they figured out he could be riled, right? And Ted's attitude over time became, I'm the greatest hitter in the history of baseball. And that's just kind of how he talked to you. I'm the greatest hitter. You get the idea? I'm the greatest hitter in the history of baseball. Like he's always wearing the sunglasses. Like you could never look this dude in the eye because he's the greatest hitter in the history of baseball. I don't want you to go that far off the chart as you start thinking of yourself with amazing abilities to make things happen. But I do want you to start developing this like quasi-celebrity personality, because when people figure out that you're somebody, they will start treating you like somebody. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say this? Now, a lot of us on the call have what's called position power. Amy's a director. Randy's the general manager. You have a titled position. You have position power at your company. So people treat you like you're somebody most of the time. I own my own company, but if you see me in the grocery store, you don't know that. So you don't treat me like I'm special. But I must have at some point developed this kind of celebrity thing, because no matter where I go, people ask me, they ask me like I own the place. I must be walking in like I own the place, because they always say, like if I'm in the grocery store and they say, do you know where the yellow waxed beans are? And I'm like, I don't work here. They go, oh, I thought you worked here. I'm like, well, no. If I go to the hardware store, excuse me, sir, do you know where I can find the hammers? No, but let me see if I can help you. And I take them to aisle 5 and show them the hammers, you know, to give me a chance to see the store a little bit. I don't care, but it happens everywhere I go. And I think this is healthy to some extent. If people are asking you where to find stuff, they must think you're so comfortable in that space, right? That you're telegraphing that you're somebody, right? And I like it. I was annoyed by it for the first few years. And now I kind of like it. And I got this initially because of the music business. I was in a band, and we walked in. Everybody wanted to meet us. And I think everybody wants to meet the director of sustainability at Michigan State University, Amy. I do. And you should have that attitude as well. Maybe you're starting to feel it now. You've been on board for what, 4 or 5 months? And so 4 or 5 months in, you might think it's too early to get that attitude. But before you know it, you're going to be at the job for 4 or 5 years. And if you haven't developed that stripe that you're somebody, it's going to be hard to condition people to think that. Why am I telling you all of this today and present like a pro class? Because when you get in front of the podium, you are that person. You're the best at what you do. You're the president of your Rotary Club, Dan. When people have issues or questions or problems for that year, they're going to come to you. And you have the ability to solve it. You have the bandwidth and the authority to solve it. And here's my favorite part about the president thing. You're going to feel like you're president the year after and the year after, except you're not doing any of the work anymore. You're a past president now. It's a beautiful thing. Andrew, when you go to trade shows and you're speaking at the trade show, you'll think of yourself differently than you do when you're just attending the trade show. You'll have a little thing on your badge that says speaker. I don't know if you have you had this yet, Andrew? Well, one day, man.
Yeah.
You'll never think of yourself the same way again. In fact, I tell people now, I never want you to go to another trade show without being a speaker. Because it's like giving an infomercial, a 45-minute infomercial to everybody that's in your room. It's fabulous. So I want you to start thinking of yourself in this way, guys. It's really, really the bomb. Another related topic after Eddie Van Halen and Ted Williams is this concept of direct to camera, which I went over with Derek today on a separate call. That when you're on screen with us and you're talking to us, that you're looking right in that lens. You're looking at me eyeball to eyeball. Because that's how you help people feel that you're really connected to them, that you really get them, right? And this is perfect venue for this, because if I'm looking over here at Andrew, I'm not looking at you now. You can see it, can't you guys?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I look over there to like I reference over here, but I always go back here, even when I'm talking to Andrew or Amy or Randy. I'm always in the lens. It's fabulous. It's called direct to camera in the speaking business. It's called sustained eye contact in the live presentation business. And I want you to guys get used to it, man. You would never do it any other way. And then finally, if you're going to claim authority in your space, you have to pick a lane. Please write this down. Pick a lane means choose a channel. So I was having a friendly argument with somebody the other day about whether or not they should be on LinkedIn. And I said, look, it's a personal decision. Only you can decide if you want to be on LinkedIn. But I can tell you, you're a business professional, and people are checking for you all the time to see if you've got game on LinkedIn. How many connections do you have? And the first thing HR does now, not that any of you are going to be applying for a job soon, but the first thing HR does now is they check your LinkedIn profile to see, because if you're telling the new job, the person hiring, that you're a people person, and you only have 250 friends on LinkedIn, he's not going to believe you. So one quick way to check you is he checks LinkedIn. If you're 500 plus, he knows you're probably not fibbing. But if he only sees 250 people, he knows he's got an issue. You say one thing about yourself, but you demonstrate another. So when you decide that you're going to claim this celebrity space for yourself, this authority, right? When you're going to claim this authority and harness the true value of your presentations, which is week 2 of this class, You're going to choose a channel like LinkedIn. In my case, YouTube. I am killing it on YouTube, but YouTube's not for everybody. Maybe your channel's going to be LinkedIn. Maybe it's going to be Facebook. CPAs can't do Facebook because it's a violation of compliance for them. But they can do LinkedIn now. For a long time, they weren't allowed on LinkedIn either. But they can own LinkedIn. And then if you know, you want to impress me with who you are as a person, you send me to that channel. And I see, oh my God, this is the guy. If I'm gonna hire a general contractor in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, it's got to be Prime. I got to talk to this Dan guy that's everywhere. And if you've checked me out on Google, it's a good exercise for you after this program. Is Google my name. Now you have to do my full name, Michael Angelo Caruso. And I not only own the first slot of the first page of your search, I own the entire first page of the search. I own the entire second page, third page, fourth page, because you're going to get my website, my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, I don't know if Instagram's going to show up yet. That's my weak spot. Videos on YouTube, right? And then you Google Andrew Blazik when we get off and tell me what you see. I'm interested. Do a screenshot of it and send it to me. Or let's just talk about it on the call next week. And you tell me that you want to own a lane or own a channel, and I will help you own it. I've already given you tips for LinkedIn. Some of you are acting on them. Some of you are not. But you got to set the stage for people to listen to you, because there's too much noise in the world, guys. Just because you get up to deliver a 56-slide PowerPoint presentation doesn't mean I'm going to think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. You're going to have other little persuasion tricks working for you, and choosing a lane is one of those tricks. Questions? I'm taking questions about Ted Williams, Eddie.
I did do the search. I did do the search for myself, and I see that I'm a pretty good hockey player.
Oh yeah, different guy.
There's a guy, Paul Carey, who's a hockey player, and the first two pages were that. Right. Which is okay. I like playing hockey, so.
Didn't Paul Carey used to be a baseball announcer too?
Yeah, I think that's just too far back now.
Okay.
But
so
yeah, I think.
So your favorite, like your three keywords, because you're up against famous people. By the way, Michelangelo is I'm up against Michelangelo. I'm up against Enrico Caruso. That's why I went to three names. If you Google my full name, you're going to get me. Paul, what's your middle name?
Gerard.
Yeah, sorry. So Paul Carey is a pretty common name. You'd be surprised. I'm surprised that there's already somebody owning the space. Andrew Blazik's a very unusual name. Andrew, what's your middle name?
James.
So one easy way to nip this in the bud is you start calling yourself Andrew James Blazik, because I'm guessing the other guy's middle name isn't James.
Right.
Now that's your LinkedIn channel. That's your LinkedIn. That's who you are on Facebook. So if people want to find you, there's no confusion about who you are. Oh yeah, that's Andrew James Blazik. He's the rock and roll sales manager at Lisi, right? Because it is hard to find Andrew Blazik. I had trouble finding you initially. I had a spelling issue. Then I had a company name issue. I guess I knew you guys were in Michigan, but you can understand it gets hard to. It's a big world out there, right? 3 billion people on the planet now. Mr. Stanley, you got a common name?
I do. My middle name is Joseph.
Okay, so you could go with that. And I'm not saying you have to change your moniker on every page. I'm not saying you have to change it at all on your pages. This is a personal decision. Where you want to go with your career? Where do you want to go with your stripe? Where do you want to go when people search you? Are they going to be able to find you easily, or are they going to have to hunt and peck? I didn't want people to have to hunt and peck to find me and find out what kind of game I had. And now they don't. It comes up pretty damn quick. So, food for thought. Randy, what are you thinking?
I had to unmute there. I'm thinking I better work on my game. I'm up to 50 on LinkedIn.
Woo! Good job.
I have not Googled myself. I have no idea.
Did you say 50 or 15?
15. I was 15. No, I was 15 recently.
That's good, though. You're making some progress, right?
Big time. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And don't forget, just getting people to accept you on LinkedIn is only half the battle. They need to see you on their timeline when they open up LinkedIn, and that's time consuming to come up with your own content. So share other people's content, and then you'll show up in their frame, right? So that's the trick. And easy stuff, low-hanging fruit. Friend everybody on LinkedIn at your company. Search Lisi on LinkedIn and everybody that's on LinkedIn. Now, it's a French company, but search Highball on LinkedIn. Maybe only be 10 or 15 or 20 guys there, but at least you'll up your thing. If they don't friend the general manager on LinkedIn, I would look at other problems.
If they don't respond, I just mark it down.
Yeah, it goes in the personnel record. All right, very good, guys. So choose a lane and own it. Thanks, everybody.